that looks like this. Okay? So there are two kinds of stress in English. The first kind of stress is sentence stress. Some language will go like this. I went to class yesterday. Everything is said in the same amount of time, but not English. We say important words louder and longer. So I'm going to say, I went to class yesterday. So I went to kind of goes together. I went to class yesterday. So that's a little bit about stress in a sentence. Another one, the bus made her late to work. So I'd say, the bus made her late to work. So we kind of combine, we put words together, and that's the sentence stress of English. We will deal with sentence stress later, but I want you to know this happens all the time, okay? Another thing about sentence stress is sometimes it will give you a meaning to the sentence. If I say, I'm stressing I. If I say, I didn't say you were lazy, that means someone else did, but I didn't do it. Okay? So if I'm stressing that I'm saying, I didn't say you were lazy. I'm saying that louder, longer, because I want you to know that I didn't do it. But that probably means someone else did. Another way to say that same sentence is, I didn't say. I'm going to stress didn't say. I didn't say you were lazy. That means I probably thought it. I didn't say it. The words didn't come out of my mouth. Okay? But I might have thought it. If I say, I didn't say you were lazy, I might have said something else about you, but not that you were lazy. So sometimes sentence stress will give you a meaning that people don't always catch. Okay? Don't read too much into it. Okay? But sometimes if I'm listening to another person, by the stress in their sentence, I can tell maybe what they're thinking. Okay? I can say something like, let's just go with that. Later we'll dig into that a little bit deeper. I just want you to know it's there. Okay? And that's a little bit higher level than what we're doing here. So this is sentence stress. What we're dealing with right now is we're dealing with word stress. So let me erase all this. In English, vowels open your mouth and consonants close your mouth. Okay? So sometimes every syllable has a vowel sound in it. Not a vowel, but a vowel sound. Because sometimes two letters go together. This is a vowel and this is a vowel, but these two letters go together for one vowel sound, and that is oi. Okay? So if I have this word, I have one vowel sound here, and I have another vowel sound there. So this is boiler. Boiler. So I have two vowel sounds. So I can either look at a word and see vowels, or I can actually feel my chin. If I say boiler, my chin moves twice. Okay? So I can kind of feel, and I can kind of hear a syllable. Okay? But the most important thing about a syllable is a vowel sound. Okay? And that's why we practice the sounds. There are 17 vowels, but there's over 50 ways to make those 17 vowels. So that's kind of what we're doing right now, is we're looking at the different ways to make the sounds so that, number one, you can hear them, but number two, if you're looking at a word that you don't know, you can try and read it. Okay? So that's kind of why. Go ahead and sign in and grab 3 sheets. Okay, so that's kind of this. Now let's talk about word stress. Let going to use this word to start with. Well, when I look at this word, I see two vowels. I see the O and I see the A. This syllable is stress. I say it louder and longer. Let me just kind of show you what stress is, okay? This is a little crazy, but I think it'll make the point. If I say schwa, that's stress. I'm saying it louder, I'm saying it longer. So in here, I say so fa. So fa. And we use our hand because it's more of a timing thing. It's not so much loud as it is timing. I say it longer. So I'm saying so fa. So fa. But if you're saying it as your hand goes out, you're making it a little bit longer. So you're going so fa. So fa. So in the stress syllable, the vowel is true. It's saying O. But in the unstressed, no stress, it is called a schwa. And it means the sound can change. This A says ah. It doesn't say Okay? A has three sounds. We'll do that in a minute. Ah. But this sound is because this is a schwa and the sound can change. So it's not so fat. It's so fa. So fa. Because this is a schwa. There's no stress, and sometimes the vowel sound can change. There are three vowel sounds that are schwa sounds. Okay, the first sound is so we have the word sofa. We have the word the. We don't say the, we say the. I need the pencil. I don't say I need the pencil. I say I need the pencil. The is not an important word. It has a schwa. It says Another word on here is in this word, round, this is ow, brown cow ow. Round is the stress. So this is going to say round. Round. It's not a round. Some people might say that, but most people will say round. So it's round. Round. And this is stress. No stress on the The vowel sound changes. This is what we call a schwa. Actually, in the dictionary, they will be represented by upside down E. So if you look in a dictionary and you see this upside down E, you think, oh, what is that? It is a schwa. Okay? And it's going to say the sound Okay, so that's the first one. The first sound for schwa is Another sound for schwa, is if. Here is the stress. It's not R, it's air. So the word is carrot. It's going to say if. Silver pin, if. So it's carrot. Okay, this is another schwa sound. I will show this sound by a double underline with a dot because it looks like an I. If. So carrot. Another word that has if. A lot of people do this one wrong. This is if. So it's August. If. It's not August. Okay, it's August. Again, we're stressing the saying it a little bit longer, and I come back with gist. Okay, August. And the next one that we have is, the stress is here. This is going to be a if, and this is actually a, I don't know why this says then. Two schwas in this word. Oven. Although we do stress this, I'm not sure why this has a schwa sound, but it does. So just know that that's a schwa sound. Oven. Okay, now, those are for single letters. Sometimes at the end of a word we have AR and we have OR. Let's look at two words. This is the stress. It's not doctor. It's doctor. So OR at the end of a word when there's no stress is going to say Doctor. 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 This happens most of the time. So if I see an OR or an AR, let's look at AR. This is not dollar. It's dollar. 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 Okay? So when an OR or an AR come at the end of a word, no stress, it's a schwa, and it's going to say Doctor, dollar. Okay, doctor, dollar. And then there's one more kind of schwa that we have to talk about. And I'm starting to teach you a little bit about stress. We've been going over sounds, and now it's time to start moving into stress, okay? We'll review the sounds in just a minute. But I like to do new things when you're first here. As you sit, you get tired, and you tend to not think as well. So I try to put new material at the beginning so that you can think about it and then review later. Okay, so we have a word like this. I have an E, an ER, or an E, and I have a Y. Some people say every, but most people don't. This is called, what I call, I don't know what it's called, but I call it a schwa syllable. I don't say it. I say every. It's not every like it looks, it's every. What I've done is I've cut out a vowel. I've cut out a vowel sound, so I've cut out a syllable because every syllable has to have a vowel sound. So here's a word, so I say every. Another example is, I have an A, an I, and an E. So this is, you can say cab, because this would be a schwa, cabinet, and this is a schwa, it. But most people say cabinet.
Cabinet. Cabinet.
So sometimes we're going to take out a whole syllable. Usually it's one vowel by itself, okay? And because it's by, here's another word. Some people say ivory, but most people are going to say ivory. Ivory. So what you're doing is you're taking out one vowel sound, is what you're doing. And I call this a schwa syllable. I don't know what it's called, but that's what I named it because it kind of goes with everything. So these are the three different kind of stress that we're dealing with. We're dealing with the sound we're dealing with the sound I, and we're dealing with the, fourth sound, and we're dealing with the sound and then sometimes we take out a sound. So when we deal with I double underline. When we deal with I double underline. These are clues to you to how to say the word, okay? If I do, what is another one? Carrot, okay. If it's going to say I double underline, but I put a dot. This says because if there's two letters, it says and if there's one letter, it's going to say That's just my way to show you what it says, so you can help pronounce the words. Okay, I think that's everything on the stress thing. This is the first sheet about stress. We will deal with stress a little bit tonight, but I wanted to make sure everyone understood what stress was before we went forward. Okay, we're going to do a review. For you that are new, the sounds that we're reviewing are the single letter consonants. They're here on the first page, the second page. We're not going to do them in order because I don't ever do anything in order. Okay, I mix things up. But these are the sounds, so if you kind of want to look at them. First, you're going to tell me some letters are going to have two sounds. Most letters have one sound, but some letters are going to have two sounds. Okay? I hope these are not. Okay, good. First, I need the name of the letter. M. And the sound of the letter. Remember, consonants are closing your mouth. Okay? It's not going to say ma, it's just So M says The next one is
G.
G. G has two sounds. The first sound is g,
G.
g, g. And the second sound is j,
J.
j. So g, j, g, j, g, j. Two sounds for the letter G. The letter
S.
S, two sounds for the letter S. Z, 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 z. Two sounds for S. The next letter is
P.
P is very quiet. People don't like it to be quiet, but it's quiet. You're going to say, get ready. Talked a lot today. It's not puh. It's very quiet. It's just, okay? If you try to say puh, you're going to mess up your words. This is the letter N. One sound. Good. A lot of them are the same as Spanish. This is the letter
L.
L. One sound. This is the letter
J.
J. One sound. J.
J.
J. J. J. Not like Spanish. This is a different sound. J. Okay. This is the letter
D.
D. One sound. D. 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 This is the letter R. I'm going to tell you it has two sounds. Most teachers will not agree with me, but I think if they think about it, they might. But they would say, oh, no, one sound. But no, it really has two. The first sound is R, 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 like rain and run, R. And the second sound is kind of when it's with a vowel. It's going to say So I say that R has two sounds. The first sound R, and the second sound Okay? What letter is this?
C.
C. C has two sounds. And in your book, you can see words that go with this so that you can do that. This is the letter
K.
K. One sound for the letter K, and the sound is, it's not ka. It's, okay, we're making it crisp and short. That's what makes your consonant sounds, okay? Then we have the letter Z. Z. One sound for Z, and it's Z, 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 okay? This is the letter
H.
Again, very, very quiet, okay? People don't even hardly hear it. It's just the sound. It's not huh. It's, okay, so that's the sound for H. This is the letter W. One sound for W, and it's w. This is the letter F. Again, F is a very quiet sound. People want to say it says f, but it doesn't. It just says. So we've got to keep that sound quiet. This is the letter
B.
B. One sound.
B.
B. Good. This is the letter T. Right now, I'm going to tell you one sound. But let me show you, when we talk, it actually has four sounds. The first sound is, let me get something to write with. The first sound is just like you sound T, and it's 10. But when a T is between two vowels, it's going to sound like a D.
D.
I don't say sit T, I say siddy. You hear a D sound. The reason you hear a D sound is because there's a vowel here and a vowel here, so it's going to be a D sound. And many times in a word, I will say this is a D sound, and the reason, and there's usually reasons for everything. People tell you English is just messed up. It's not. English is very logical, and I can explain about 95% of the words. Between vowels and sounds and syllables, we can explain to you the words. There's about 5% I can't explain, okay? But English is like math. Everybody knows 1 + 1 is 2. Everybody knows B says B, okay? But as you get more math, as you go to algebra and geometry and calculus, it gets more complicated, and that's the same thing with English. Once you learn the rules, they're the same. But you just have to figure out what the rules are. Okay. Now the next sound for T, when it's by a UR, it says ch, picture.
Picture.
So it's not picture, it doesn't say T, it says ch, picture. Picture. Okay? And the last sound for T is silent. The best example of this, I don't say Christmas, I say Christmas. So sometimes I'm going to tell you, oh, don't pronounce that T. Okay? It's just Christmas. Okay? So when I don't hear a sound for a word, I cross it off. That just means you're going to see it, but you're not going to say it. Okay? So we're going to cross it off. You'll see it, but you will not say it. Christmas. So even though when we do our cards, we're going to say T has one sound and it says T. Actually, there's 4 different sounds that can go with it. But for beginners, I don't tell them all of that. It gets complicated. Okay? Now this sound is usually very difficult. It's the letter V. And in Spanish, it sounds the same as B, but not in English. It is the sound V, 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 V. And that's very hard to do. That takes a lot of practice, okay? So this is V, it says V. When I see a Q, it is always with a U. In this combination, the U is not a vowel. It's part of a consonant sound, and Q says qua, 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 qua. And then we have X, and X says x, x. It's kind of a K and an S together. X, x, x. And a good word would be box, box, box. So it's saying x together. Okay,
Mexico.
those are, you have a question?
Mexico.
Mexico. Mex. It says x in Mexico. Okay. If it's at the beginning of a word, we're going to say X. X-ray.
X-ray.
But it's when usually it's at the end of a word or at the end of a syllable, and then it's going to say x. Okay. There's an xylophone. I don't even know how to spell it, but it's X. So if it's at the very first letter of the word, I'd have to check it out, but I think it's going to say X. But anywhere else in the word, it's going to say X. Okay? Now these are single letter. Now I told you last week that sometimes 2 letters go together to form one sound. So we're going to review those sounds right now. And this is actually, if you're looking in the book, oh, not too far. The sounds we just did are on this column right here. And the sounds we're going to do now are on this column right here of the next page.
Oh,
Okay?
and the book.
And I always do them out of order.
Thank you.
Now sometimes, let me separate these out.